You felt it long before you pressed play. That strange tightening in your chest, that quiet throb beneath your ribs. The feeling that something invisible has been circling your life, trying to get your attention. You've been waking up at odd hours, noticing repeating numbers, feeling surges of emotion you can't quite explain. And somewhere inside, you keep asking yourself, is something about to change? Is life trying to tell me something? Yes, it is. Because if you're hearing these words, your timeline is already shifting. The truth is, there's a point in every human life where the universe stops whispering and starts calling your name. Not politely, not softly, but with a kind of spiritual electricity that shakes you awake. And that's what this moment is. The moment your reality finally reaches out and finds you. Maybe you've been walking through your days feeling numb, disconnected, unsure how you lost yourself, somewhere between responsibility and survival. Maybe you've been carrying a wound from years ago, one you pretend doesn't hurt anymore, but it still stings every time you take a deep breath. Or maybe you've simply been waiting for a sign, a confirmation, something that tells you you're not crazy for believing there's more. This is that sign. And I need you to hear this with your whole being. You didn't click this video clicked you. The fabric of your reality is the quantum field that responds to your emotions, your memories, your deepest truths, has shifted just enough for this message to find you at the exact moment your soul opened to receive it. That is not an accident. That is not the algorithm. That is alignment. If this message resonates with you, make sure to subscribe. This journey is just beginning. You see, consciousness isn't something that happens in your mind. It happens in the space around you, the space that listens when you cry at night, the space that feels your frustration when life keeps repeating the same lessons over and over again, the space that senses your exhaustion from holding everything together, from pretending you're fine, from living a life that feels too small for the size of your soul. What no one ever told you is that these moments, the heaviness, the confusion, the longing, are not signs that something is wrong. They are signs that something is waking up. Because before a timeline shifts, the universe creates friction. You'll notice patterns you can't unsee. People will fall away without explanation. Old dreams won't fit anymore. And for the first time in years, you'll feel this strange mixture of fear and hope. And that's where you are right now. The version of you that has carried all your previous timelines, the old identities, the old wounds, the old stories, is dissolving. Because you're stepping toward a version of reality where your soul is finally allowed to breathe. Have you felt that lately? That subtle pull, that whisper that says, it's time? That feeling that the life you've been living is too tight, too dim, too familiar. That's because your future self, the one who already healed, already awakened, already aligned, is trying to reach you. Consciousness doesn't move forward in a straight line. It folds, it loops, it echoes. And right now you're feeling the echo of who you're about to become. This is why your emotions have been intense. This is why you've been sensitive to energies you never noticed before. This is why certain people suddenly drain you while others feel like home. This is why you're restless, even when nothing obvious has changed. Your timeline is preparing to bend, and before it bends, it calls. Most people ignore the call. They numb it with busyness, with distraction, with routines that keep them small. But not you. You followed a feeling here, a pull, a magnetism, a quiet knowing. The universe notices souls like that. Souls who listen. Souls who question. Souls who are ready. Let me say something you may not have heard in a very long time. There is nothing wrong with you. There is something waking within you. You weren't meant to stay stuck in the version of life that was built from your fears. You were meant to grow into the version built from your awareness. So as you sit here, breathing a little deeper, feeling a little more seen, something inside you is responding. A vibration, a recognition, a soft inner yes. Pay attention to that. It's the first sign your frequency is rising. Tell me in the comments if you've ever felt this shift. You're still here, and that means something powerful. Your soul is responding. Most people click away when a message gets too close to their truth, but you didn't. You stayed. And that tells me you're already walking between timelines. 1 foot in who you used to be, and 1 foot in who you are becoming. Let's continue. There comes a moment in every awakening when the world around you begins to look the same, yet somehow feels different. Colors seem sharper, silence feels louder. Even your own thoughts carry a weight that wasn't there before. It's not your imagination, it's your perception rising to meet a new frequency. Think back to the last few weeks, the strange synchronicities, the repeating numbers, the vivid dreams that feel like messages instead of memories. You've brushed these off as coincidences, but deep down, a part of you recognizes the truth. The universe has been preparing you for this shift long before you realized it. You see, every timeline shift begins with a rupture, not outside you, but within. A silent breaking of an old belief, a quiet release of a memory you've held for too long. A moment when your heart whispers a truth your mind is finally ready to hear. And in that moment, something changes in your energy field, something small, but undeniable. It often starts as a discomfort, the sense that you no longer belong in places that once felt familiar. You'll notice you can't tolerate certain conversations anymore. You feel drained by people who thrive on negativity. You sense a subtle distance from the old version of your life, as if it's fading behind you. That's not you withdrawing, that's your soul stepping forward. Because here's the hidden truth most people never learn. You shift timelines the moment you stop betraying yourself. The moment you listen to your intuition instead of your fear, the moment you honor your inner knowing instead of the world's expectations. And lately, you've been getting closer to that moment. Haven't you felt it? That quiet courage rising inside you. That subtle voice saying, enough. There has to be something more. That strange mix of exhaustion and hope. Exhaustion from carrying a life that no longer fits, and hope that maybe, just maybe, you're meant for a reality that finally reflects the truth of who you are. You're not imagining that, you're remembering it. But let me tell you something deeper, something most people never hear. Your awakening didn't start now. It started the first time you broke, the first time life shattered your illusion of control. That moment of pain you tried so hard to forget, it wasn't a failure. It was an initiation. Because pain is a portal, and you walked through it, even if you didn't realize it at the time. You survived nights you were sure would break you. You carried burdens no one else saw. You fought silent battles with fear, loneliness, disappointment, and doubt. And yet, somewhere inside you, the flame never went out. It dimmed maybe, but it never died. That is why your timeline is shifting now, because you're finally strong enough to receive what your old self wasn't ready for. The quantum field responds to coherence, and your soul is finally aligning with its own truth. This is why you're feeling the pull. This is why you're hearing this message. This is why life has been rearranging itself around you. And I need you to hear this with absolute clarity. Your next chapter will not look like your last one. Your energy is changing too fast. Your awareness is rising too high. Your old patterns can't survive where you're going. You're stepping into a timeline where you no longer chase what abandons you. A timeline where your worth is felt, not questioned. A timeline where your intuition leads instead of your fear. And the people who resonate with this vibration, they don't stumble here by accident. They arrive because they're being called. Don't just watch, awaken with us. Subscribe now to Quantum Spirit. Take a breath, let that sink in. Because there's something else happening in your life. Something you may have noticed but didn't fully understand. Your emotional sensitivity has increased. You feel things more deeply. You're more aware of what drains you. You're uncomfortable with superficial connections. You crave depth, truth, and alignment. This is not oversensitivity. This is evolution. Your energy field is purifying itself, releasing anything that doesn't match your new vibration. That's why old friendships feel distant. That's why old habits feel empty. That's why old fears are resurfacing. Not to haunt you, but to leave you. The universe removes what you've outgrown long before it delivers what you're meant for. So if you felt lost, it's only because you're between chapters. If you felt disconnected, it's because the old frequency can no longer hold you. If you felt emotional, it's because your soul is clearing the space for something extraordinary. There's a reason you're listening to this right now, a reason this message found you today, not last month, not next year. Your field is aligning, your intuition is opening, your timeline is preparing. Tell me in the comments if you felt this shift intensify recently. If you're still here, it means something inside you is awakening faster than you realize. Most people hear messages like this and feel uncomfortable because truth exposes what they've been avoiding. But you didn't run. You leaned in, you listened. That alone tells me you're crossing the threshold many spend a lifetime avoiding. Let's go deeper. There's a moment in every soul's journey when the external world stops being the source of answers, when nothing out there satisfies anymore, when the achievements, the validations, the routines, even the distractions lose their flavor. You try to go back to who you were, but you can't. You try to pretend you don't feel the shift, but you do. This is the moment the universe gently removes the illusions that once kept you sleepwalking. An awakening is rarely comfortable. Maybe lately you've been feeling like parts of your life are dissolving. The things that once made sense don't anymore. The relationships you tolerated now feel heavy. The identities you wore for years now feel like costumes you've outgrown. And beneath all that, there's a quiet truth rising from somewhere deep inside you. I can't keep living like this. That truth is the spark, the ignition, the beginning of the new timeline pulling you forward. But here's the part people don't talk about. Before your timeline shifts, life often feels like it's falling apart. Breakdowns, disconnection, restlessness, loneliness, even in a crowded room. And the strange thing, you know something's ending, but you don't know what yet. You know something's beginning, but you can't see it yet. You're in the hallway between timelines. And hallways feel like nothingness, but they're not. They are restructuring. Listen closely. When reality becomes silent, the quantum field becomes loud. The more your physical world slows down, the more your inner world speeds up. The more you lose control, the more your consciousness expands. This is the inversion point of awakening, the moment when your soul starts upgrading faster than your life can keep up. That's why everything feels strange right now. That's why you feel different, even if no one else notices. That's why you're hearing this message. Because your energy shifted enough for your consciousness to match what you're receiving. You're not behind, you're not lost, you're transitioning. Take a moment, breathe, and feel the truth in that. There is a version of you already living the timeline you're shifting into, aligned, clear, powerful, peaceful, deeply connected to your intuition. And right now, that version is not in the future. It's folding into this moment. That's why you're feeling past emotions rise to the surface. That's why old patterns suddenly feel unbearable. That's why you're craving authenticity like oxygen. Your future self is merging into your present. And with it comes a calling, a soft but persistent desire for more meaning, more alignment, more truth, more life. You can feel it, can't you? That subtle pressure in your chest, that ache behind your ribs, that inner restlessness that won't let you settle anymore. That's not anxiety, that's expansion. Your soul is stretching into a bigger timeline. And I want you to hear this, well, because nobody told you this growing up. You are not meant to stay small so others can stay comfortable. You were not born to live on autopilot. You were not designed for a life that numbs you. Your consciousness is demanding more. Your heart is demanding truth. Your spirit is demanding alignment. And as you rise, everything that cannot rise with you will fall away. People, habits, patterns, old versions of you. It's not loss, it's recalibration. It's your timeline making room for the reality you've quietly prayed for. So if you felt confused lately, it's because your soul is upgrading faster than your mind can understand. If you felt emotional, it's because you're shedding timelines that were built from survival, not truth. If you felt distant from the life you used to know, it's because your consciousness has already outgrown it. You're not alone in this. And you're not crazy. You're evolving, you're awakening. And if your heart is beating a little faster right now, if you feel seen, if something inside you feels like it's remembering something it forgot, that's your confirmation. You're stepping into the identity your soul has been waiting for you to claim. You're not here by accident. The universe brought you. Hit subscribe and align. Now, before we go deeper, I want you to reflect on something. Think about the moments in your life where you felt the most broken, the moments when you questioned your worth, your purpose, your direction. Those moments shaped the version of you that's listening to this right now. Every heartbreak purified you. Every disappointment redirected you. Every ending initiated you. Your pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Because only those who have felt the darkness can recognize the light when it returns. Only those who have been shattered can expand beyond the limits of their old identity. Only those who have been lost can appreciate the miracle of awakening. Tell me in the comments if you've felt your old self dissolving lately. If you're still here, it's because something inside you refuses to go back to sleep. Something ancient, something wise, something that has been waiting for this exact moment in your timeline. The moment where everything you've carried, everything you've questioned, everything you've endured, finally starts to make sense. Let's continue. There's a point in your awakening where the past stops haunting you and begins teaching you. The memories that once hurt now reveal patterns. The people who left now reveal lessons. The moments that broke you now reveal how they were shaping you. And suddenly you realize none of it was random. Not the heartbreak, not the losses, not the delays, not the nights you cried alone. Every piece of your story has been leading you to this crossroads, the place where you decide whether you'll keep living from your wounds or from your awakening. And this is where many souls get scared, because awakening requires honesty. It requires looking at the parts of yourself you've hidden. It requires letting go of identities that once kept you safe. But you're ready. That's why this message found you now. Not earlier, not later, but exactly now. Something in your field has opened. Something in your consciousness has shifted. You're not the same person you were even 3 months ago. You think differently, you feel differently, you see differently, you've started questioning things you used to accept, you've started craving things you used to avoid, you've started recognizing truths you used to suppress. That's the sign. That's the evidence of timeline shifting, because before your external reality changes, your internal frequency changes first. Just like the sunrise, sky brightens before the sun appears. Your soul brightens before your life transforms. And right now, you are in the brightening. You may not see the full picture yet, but you can feel it. Something is aligning, something is approaching, something is calling you into a higher expression of yourself. And even if you can't explain it to anyone else, you feel it in your chest. That deep, subtle heaviness that doesn't hurt, but urges. That feeling that says, I'm meant to be more than this. I'm meant to experience something greater. I'm meant to awaken. You're not imagining any of this. You're responding to it. And here's the truth most people never dare to say. Your new timeline is already here. It's waiting for you to match it. Your desires aren't random. Your frustrations aren't meaningless. Your restlessness isn't a problem to fix. It's a signal. The universe doesn't speak in words. It speaks in frequency. It speaks in discomfort. It speaks in intuition. It speaks in longing. You felt that longing for years. You just didn't have the clarity to interpret it. But now, you do. Your consciousness is finally catching up with the destiny you've sensed all along. And this is where the shift becomes powerful, because once you recognize the signs, you can't unsee them. You can't return to the old timeline. You can't pretend you're not awakening. And the universe responds quickly to souls who choose growth. Doors open, connections appear, old patterns dissolve, new opportunities emerge, synchronicities accelerate. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because you're no longer resisting your alignment. You've probably noticed this already. Small moments where things line up too perfectly. A thought you have appears in reality a day later. A person you needed to hear from suddenly reaches out. A solution appears right when you were ready to give up. These moments aren't luck, they're calibration. Your energy is syncing with your next timeline. And the more you acknowledge these shifts, the faster your reality rearranges itself. But here's where resistance shows up. Fear. Not fear of failure, but fear of expansion. Fear of letting go of the familiar. Fear of stepping into a version of yourself you may not fully recognize yet. Let me reassure you of something your soul already knows. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to who you were always meant to be. The child who felt everything deeply, the teenager who questioned everything, the adult who carried silent pain but refused to break. Every version of you has been guiding you to this moment. The moment you step into your truth, the moment you reclaim your intuition, the moment you rise, you're ready. Click subscribe and join those rewriting their reality through consciousness. Now, there's something else we need to explore, something deeper, something sacred. Your timeline isn't just shifting because you're healing, it's shifting because you're remembering. You're remembering the parts of yourself you disconnected from in order to survive. You're remembering the dreams you buried because no one believed in them. You're remembering the power you gave away in relationships, in jobs, in moments where you forgot your worth. These memories aren't returning to hurt you. They're returning so you can reclaim the pieces of yourself you abandoned. And as these pieces return, your energy expands, your intuition strengthens, your awareness deepens, your reality responds. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is falling apart. You're upgrading, you're aligning, you're awakening. Tell me in the comments if you've felt this inner remembering, this pull toward your true self. If you've made it this far, then you already know. This is no longer just a message. It's a mirror, a reflection of who you are becoming, a reminder of the truth you've tried to ignore, suppress, or postpone. The truth that your soul is done waiting. Let's continue. There comes a moment in every spiritual awakening when the outer world starts to feel strangely distant. You go through your day, the same tasks, the same conversations, the same routines, and yet something feels different. Your body is there, but your consciousness is expanding beyond what your old life can hold. It feels like standing in a room that once felt comfortable, only to realize the walls are slowly closing in, not to trap you, but to push you out of a reality you've outgrown. Have you felt that lately? That almost claustrophobic sensation in your own life? That deep urge to breathe, to move, to transform, without even knowing what the next step is? That's the frequency of a timeline shift. It's the spiritual pressure that forms right before your reality rearranges itself. But here's something most people misunderstand. You don't shift timelines by force. You don't shift by wishing. You don't shift by waiting. You shift by alignment.
An alignment begins with a single, powerful, terrifying decision. I can no longer abandon myself. For years, you've operated from survival, pleasing others, fulfilling expectations, shrinking your truth, hiding your depth, silencing your intuition. Not because you were weak, but because you were conditioned to believe that self-abandonment was the price of being accepted. But now, you're waking up. An awakening is the refusal to betray your soul any longer. This is when everything changes.
Because the moment you choose yourself, truly, deeply, unapologetically, the universe responds. The quantum field reorganizes. Opportunities appear. People shift. Patterns dissolve. Your reality bends. Not because magic happens to you, but because something powerful happens within you. This is why you've felt emotional lately. This is why you've been pulled toward deeper meaning. This is why you've been craving silence, intuition, reflection. Your soul is tired of living small. Your heart is tired of pretending. Your spirit is tired of carrying timelines that don't match your truth. You're stepping into a new frequency, one that demands authenticity. And authenticity requires letting go of who you were taught to be, letting go of the expectations that suffocated you, letting go of relationships that kept you stagnant, letting go of beliefs that kept you fearful, letting go of the version of you that survived, so you can become the version that thrives. This is the part of awakening that no one warns you about, the grieving. Because even when you know you're stepping into something greater, there's a sadness in releasing the life you once knew. There's a heaviness in shedding old selves, even when they hurt you. There's an ache in realizing you can't go back to who you were. But hear me clearly, you're not losing yourself. You're returning to yourself. Every tear you've shed in this transition is sacred. Every moment of confusion is part of the recalibration. Every wave of emotion is your soul clearing space. You are making room for the life that matches your frequency. And something inside you already knows this. That's why you've been drawn to messages like this. That's why you've been questioning everything. That's why you've been feeling the invisible pull towards something you can't yet describe. You're not imagining it, you're remembering it. Your future self is guiding you. Your higher self is calling you. Your new timeline is preparing itself. Don't just watch, awaken with us. Subscribe now to Quantum Spirit. Now lean in, because what I'm about to tell you is something most people never realize. When your timeline shifts, the first thing that changes is your emotional resonance. You start to feel things before they happen. You start sensing people's intentions rather than believing their words. You start recognizing alignment instead of chasing validation. Your intuition sharpens, not as a mystical gift, but as the natural intelligence of your soul. And the more you trust it, the faster your reality transforms. This is why you've been feeling pulled away from certain environments. Not because you're judging them, but because your frequency no longer matches them. Your energy has matured, your soul has evolved, your consciousness has expanded. You're no longer resonating with chaos, drama, low vibration, or superficial connection. You crave depth, you crave peace, you crave truth, you crave authenticity. And guess what? Those cravings aren't random. They're a signal that your new timeline is anchoring, because the moment you desire a higher reality, it begins forming itself around you. You're not walking toward your awakening. Your awakening is walking toward you. And when the two meet, everything shifts instantly, irreversibly, beautifully. Tell me in the comments if you felt these emotional shifts intensifying. You're still here, and that alone says everything. Most people turn away when the truth reaches too deeply into their soul, but you didn't. You kept going. You followed the pull, the resonance, the unmistakable feeling that what you're hearing is not just a message, but a memory. Let's continue. There's a stage in the awakening process where you begin to feel strangely disconnected from your old self, almost as if the version of you from yesterday no longer exists. You look at your old reactions, your old habits, your old emotional patterns, and something feels different, lighter, softer, less attached. It's not that you've changed overnight, it's that you've begun to outgrow the limitations you once accepted as truth. Awakening isn't becoming someone new. Awakening is remembering who you always were. Think about your life for a moment. Not the distractions, not the obligations, not the noise. Think about you. The you beneath the layers. The you behind the survival mechanisms. The you who has always been quietly observing, feeling, sensing. That version of you is rising. And with that rise comes a deeper truth. One that very few people brave enough to awaken ever fully understand. Your external reality is a reflection of your internal vibration. Your life hasn't been holding you back. Your frequency has, not intentionally, not as punishment, but because consciousness only expands when you're ready to hold more of your own truth. And lately, you've been ready. This is why things you used to tolerate now feel suffocating. This is why conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. This is why certain people drain you instantly. Not because they changed, but because you did. Your system is rejecting anything that cannot follow you into your next timeline. And that rejection isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of ascension. Your energy is purifying, your boundaries are strengthening, your awareness is sharpening. This is what it feels like when your soul begins choosing itself. But let's go deeper, because right now, you're at a threshold, a crossing. A moment many feel but few recognize. The moment your future self begins rewriting your present. Have you noticed how certain thoughts feel new to you? How certain dreams feel clearer? How certain ideas feel like they didn't come from your mind, but through it? That's because your consciousness is receiving impressions from the timeline you're entering. The version of you who is healed. The version of you who is aligned. The version of you who has stepped into purpose. The version of you who trusts instead of fears. That version is trying to reach you. And right now, you're listening. This is why you feel internal tension. Because your old self is dissolving and your new self is expanding. It's the spiritual equivalent of shedding skin. Uncomfortable, necessary, transformative. And just like the chrysalis stage of a butterfly, it can feel dark before it becomes beautiful. But something extraordinary is happening right now, and I want you to take this in with your entire being. You are no longer aligned with the timeline you used to survive in. You're aligning with the timeline you were born to create. A reality shaped by consciousness, not fear. By authenticity, not obligation. By intuition, not conditioning. And that shift, that quantum realignment, begins inside your emotional field. You feel more sensitive, more intuitive, more aware, more open. This is not weakness. This is the expansion of your spiritual intelligence. For the first time in years, your soul is loud enough for you to hear it, and the universe is responding. You've probably noticed the synchronicities increasing, the signs repeating, the strange, gentle nudges guiding you toward new decisions, new people, new opportunities. That's not coincidence, that's convergence. Your timelines are overlapping, your frequency is rising, your future is approaching. And the reason this message feels so personal is because it's meant for the version of you who is waking up right now. You're not here by accident. The universe brought you. Hit subscribe and align. Now breathe. Feel your chest expand. Feel the subtle tingling in your energy field. Feel the shift happening inside you, because something else is unfolding. Something deeper, something sacred. You are starting to recognize the difference between your ego and your intuition. The ego is loud, the ego is fearful, the ego is reactive, but the intuition is quiet, steady, ancient, unmistakable, and lately you've been hearing it. Not as a thought, not as a voice, but as a knowing that says, I'm ready, I want more, I can feel something shifting. I'm not who I used to be. And that knowing is shaping your next timeline. But here's the beautiful paradox. Your timeline doesn't shift when you change your actions. Your timeline shifts when you change your identity. The moment you stop seeing yourself as the wounded one, the abandoned one, the powerless one, the one who tries, and start seeing yourself as the awakened one, the conscious one, the aligned one, the creator, your entire reality transforms instantly, exponentially, quantumly. Tell me in the comments if you've felt these identity shifts within yourself. If you're still with me, then you already know something profound is happening within you. Most people never make it this far because truth terrifies them. Awakening demands honesty, courage, and the willingness to walk through the fire of transformation. But you are still here, listening, feeling, expanding. That alone means your soul is ready for the next revelation. Let's continue. And there's a moment in every awakening where your inner world becomes louder than your outer world. You start hearing things you once ignored. Subtle intuitions, emotional signals, silent truths rising from your heart. And suddenly the noise of the world feels irrelevant. You no longer need external validation. You no longer need constant distraction. You no longer need to explain yourself. Because the deeper your consciousness rises, the less you are controlled by the world outside you. And that's exactly what's been happening to you. You felt yourself pulling back from things that once entertained you. Empty conversations, meaningless routines, superficial connections. You're craving something real now. Something with weight, something that nourishes your soul instead of numbing it. This craving is sacred. It's the sign of a soul preparing for its next timeline. And here's the truth many people avoid. Your new reality cannot unfold around the person you used to be. It can only unfold around the person you are becoming. This is why you feel the urge to change. This is why your emotions feel amplified. This is why you sense something deeper calling you. You're not meant to stay the same, you're meant to evolve. But with evolution comes discomfort, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're shedding the limits that once kept you small. Think back to the last few months. Think about the subtle but undeniable changes in your perception, the things you've outgrown, the boundaries you've started setting, the truths you've begun admitting to yourself. That's not coincidence, that's consciousness. Your awakening is accelerating, and the more it accelerates, the more sensitive you become to misalignment. This is why certain people suddenly feel draining, why certain environments feel heavy, why certain routines feel pointless, why certain dreams feel dead, because you can't carry old energies into a new timeline. But here's the beautiful part. The universe has been guiding you every step of the way, even through moments that felt like chaos. Every setback was redirection. Every ending was protection. Every disappointment was realignment. You didn't lose anything meant for your next chapter. Not a person, not an opportunity, not a dream. If it left, it was vibrating too low for where you're going, and you're going somewhere extraordinary. Take a breath and let that settle in your chest. Because this next part is important. Your new timeline requires self-leadership. Not the kind where you force, hustle, or grind. Not the kind where you perform for others, but the kind where you finally trust yourself, your intuition, your impulses, your emotions, your inner guidance. This is the shift you're feeling, the transition from external authority to internal authority. For years, you were conditioned to disconnect from your inner compass. You were taught to doubt yourself, to conform, to silence your inner voice. But that conditioning is breaking. You're remembering your own power. And with that remembering comes clarity. Clarity about what you want, clarity about what you don't want, clarity about who you are, clarity about who you're becoming. Your mind has asked questions for years. Now your soul is answering, and the answers come as sensations, as intuitions, as shifts in your emotional field, as the feeling that you're being pulled towards something bigger. You're not imagining that pull, you're responding to your own destiny. Don't just watch, awaken with us. Subscribe now to Quantum Spirit. Now listen closely, because this is one of the most transformative truths of the quantum awakening. Your reality doesn't shift when you take action. It shifts when you become the person who naturally takes that action. This is the difference between forcing a new life and aligning with one. When you try to force change from your old identity, you struggle. When you align with change from your new identity, you flow. This is why certain things have felt easier lately, and why certain things have felt impossible. Your soul supports what aligns with your evolution. It rejects what doesn't. Your emotions are not your enemy. Your emotions are your guidance system. Every discomfort is a message. Every desire is a map. Every intuition is a sign. You've been guided more than you realize, protected more than you know, prepared more than you can see, and now you're ready. Your timeline is shifting from survival to creation, from fear to frequency, from autopilot to awareness. Tell me in the comments if you've felt this rising clarity. You've made it all the way to this final part, and that alone reveals a truth your mind may not fully understand yet, but your soul absolutely does. You were meant to hear this. You were meant to awaken now. You were meant to shift timelines in this exact moment of your life. Let's finish this journey together. There is a point in every awakening where the soul reaches a state of undeniable recognition, a moment when all the whispers, signs, synchronicities, dreams, and inner nudges finally click into place. That moment is now. You've been feeling it building for months, maybe even years. That subtle inner pressure, that quiet dissatisfaction with the life you were once comfortable in, that strange sense that something bigger was waiting for you, just beyond the edge of your awareness. And the truth is, you were right. Your new timeline has been calling you. Not gently, not softly, but persistently. Through emotions, through intuition, through people leaving, through unexpected opportunities appearing, through that gnawing restlessness that refused to fade. Every shift you felt was the universe preparing you. Every ending was clearing space. Every beginning was aligning purpose. And now you're standing at the doorway of your next reality. But here's the most important truth you need to hear in this final chapter. Your new timeline unlocks the moment you embody the version of yourself you've been afraid to become. Not tomorrow, not next month, not when things calm down, now. Because every timeline exists in potential. But potential becomes reality only when consciousness chooses alignment. And you right now are aligning. Think back to who you were a year ago. Think back to the doubts, the fears, the confusion, the emotional heaviness. Think back to the versions of yourself that tried so hard to hold it all together. That version of you carried weight so the future you could rise, and now you are rising. Feel that for a moment. Let it sink into your chest. Let it wash through your body. Let it awaken every part of you that once believed you were stuck. Because you were never stuck. You were preparing. You were learning how to recognize misalignment. You were learning how to hear your intuition. You were learning how to trust your emotions. You were learning how to let go. You were learning how to feel again. And that emotional intelligence is your activation key. Your soul does not evolve through logic. It evolves through awareness, through feeling, through remembering. And you are remembering faster than ever. This is why you've been shedding so much lately. Old friends, old dreams, old fears, old versions of yourself. Not because you're losing anything, but because your energy is rising above what once held you. If you feel tired, it's because transformation is intense. If you feel emotional, it's because you're clearing lifetimes of density. If you feel hopeful without knowing why, it's because your future self is finally within reach. Everything you've felt is part of the shift. And now in this final moment, I want you to understand something that will change the direction of your entire life. Your awakening isn't happening to you. Your awakening is happening because of you, because you asked for more, because you refused to settle, because you listened when life called, because you chose growth over comfort, because you were brave enough to follow your intuition. Most people ignore the signs. Most people silence their inner voice. Most people choose the familiar timeline, even when it hurts. But not you. You chose truth. You chose expansion. You chose awakening. And that single choice is rewriting your entire reality. You're stepping into a timeline where your voice matters, where your intuition leads, where your heart guides, where you create instead of survive, where you rise instead of shrink, where you become the person your soul has been waiting to express. And the most powerful part, the universe will meet you at the level of your alignment every single time. So breathe and receive this. You are ready for your next timeline. You are ready for your next identity. You are ready for your next reality. You are ready for the awakening that has been chasing you your entire life. You didn't stumble on this message. You didn't click by accident. You didn't stay here by coincidence. This message found you because you were finally ready to rise. Your timeline is shifting. Your soul is unfolding. Your reality is opening. And now, your awakening begins. Tell me in the comments if you're ready to step fully into your new timeline.